Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Hi everybody's friend Dan. Daniel Hodgkins. This is one of the rare times you actually will see a late night video. Um, Mostly because my sister and brother are not here. So, what is up? Well, I can tell you one thing. First and foremostly. Um, Now, if you have tuned in with me with my earlier segments from last week, you guys would already know exactly where I was going to go as far as this announcement. Okay? Okay. So, unless your name is stupid, then I can't help you there. So, okay. Well, since we know the dog is good and my sister and my brother aren't here, I'm gonna go to the one place that I feel the most safe at. Yep, my room. Because in my room, I could do whatever the hell I want. Again, it goes beyond saying. Why is it important for me to be in my room? Well, I'll tell you straight. I had a long week. It's been a kind of a up, down, up, down, up, down, up weekend. And boy, oh howdy, let me tell you. It hasn't been easy doing these live shows. No, you think it's easy, but again, you guys are wrong about it. Mostly because you guys are just the ones watching my live shows. You're not the ones that are actually talking in the live shows. I mean, mind you, me. I mean, unless you're actually trying to talk to people and start some friendly conversation, then I don't know. Yeah, hello there. Hello there. So now I have to put my sound machine on, which again is ocean white noise. I call it ocean white noise. Mostly because ocean white noise tends to be the stuff that oftentimes helps you go to sleep the fastest. But again, don't worry. I have announcements. But again, so what are we going to be doing tonight? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I am going on to my computer, yes, I'm to finish the last swig of my water right there. That I completely forgot from last night. And yeah, I got Elmo, my stuffed Elmo, on my side with me. And so, again, you see me off the camera because, again, it's a late night video. And quite honestly, there's a very solid reason as to why that is. Well, firstly and foremostly, I need to close out my Facebook window because my Facebook window is outdated. Yes, my Facebook window I had last night was seriously outdated. Okay, okay, you want to know what's going on, okay? You want to know what's going on with the Silver Surfer. Okay, this is from our friend Screen Rants. We haven't talked to them in a long time, so here we go. This is your special for today. Marvel's canceled Silver Surfer spin-off project. Again, this was supposed to be a setup sequel from our friend the Fantastic Four and the First Steps. A canceled spin-off, again from our friends Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, would have been an excellent sequel from the latest installment of the Marvel Universe, Fantastic Four and the First Steps. However, this marks the first chapter of the new Marvel First family and her family as they continue the story in the Avengers. And someday a sequel. We don't know what sequel, but someday. All previous Fantastic Four movies have struggled to make the impact. However, in 2005 and 2007 and 2015, again, all which were terrible. Yes, all of they were terrible. And they failed to impress. However, with the Fantastic Four, the first step, it leaves the door open for a Silver Surfer spin-off. Shia is a small role in Fantastic Four, the first step. So just like we had Norrin Rad in Rise of Silver Surfer, again, this is again as she steals the thunder from her Fox counterpart. Shia makes an imposing debut as she's the new Herald of Galactus and breathtaking action sequence in deep space. As we saw, spoiler alert, she sacrifices herself to defeat Galactus. Unlike the Fox version where we saw Norrin Rad, the MCU barely got to explore Shia LaBeouf and her origin to health and then redemption. Shia LaBeouf, basically just like the Zenwa planet where the Silver Surfer is from, the First Steps flashback and again her change in heart happens offset. So while it seems like the Silver Surfer would love to stay behind Earth 828, the Fantastic Four First Step now ended, there's a really good likelihood she might return. Hopefully soon. The Fantastic Four and the Rise of the Silver Surfer has canceled their spin-off, but it could still work in the MCU. Okay, the Norrin Rad we know from Rise of the Silver Surfer. 20th Century Fox has planned a Silver Surfer spin-off project that was centered around the Fantastic Four and the Rise of Silver Surfer. Reminder, it happened in 2007, the same year we got Spider-Man 3. Again, Fox's Silver Surfer spin-off was quietly canceled amidst from the lukewarm reception from Fantastic Four. So, the Fantastic Four in the First Steps fresh depiction from their Silver Surfer sets the new stage for the prequels or sequels, which might feature Shia LaBeouf, after Doctor Doom and his story is finished with the Avengers. Hopefully we'll have a midway special presentation similar to the one we're going to get a showcase in Punisher, to later explore the Shia LaBeouf transformation into the Galactus Herald. However, a Silver Surfer special presentation could bridge the gap between First Steps and the future sequel. Again, we don't know when the sequel is, we just know they're in talk of making a sequel. Marvel Studios has reduced the output drastically in the last several years. Again, because a lot of movies really suck. Have you looked at the box office results, guys? Have you looked at the box office results? The box office doesn't lie, bro. The box office does not lie. Still, a Silver Surfer spin-off project could be the perfect setup to the next direction. And as far as where the other cosmic space heroes are, join the place after we saw the Guardians of the Galaxy close off with the final finish in the Infinity Saga. So, again, whether or not we're going to actually fucking get a Silver Surfer project is kind of up in the air. Because, again, so now, we're going to talk about some Sonic the Hedgehog games that deserve a remaster. And yes, this is only a 6-minute read on Estimate. Sonic the Hedgehog has left a franchise not only alone in the games, but the movies, the cartoons, the comic books, etc. Despite Sonic the Hedgehog and his success and legacy, the series has been having a fair share of ideas. Some games have suffered from horrible bugs, chunky controls, and underwhelming mechanicals, however being stuck on outdated systems. Many of these outdated systems, again, were from Sega or Nintendo. Again, these forgotten nostalgic fan games stand out as the best potentials, and this is where we rank them. From the best to the not so much. Here we go. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. The original, again, 1998 and 2002. Again, I was only just a fucking baby when these games happened. So I was only a fucking baby when these games happened. That's how fucking old I was, okay? Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Original release, again, from Dreamcast, GameCube, PS3, Xbox 360, and personal computer. Again, 1998 and 2002. Obviously, because the music's awesome, and the game is awesome, and everything about it is awesome. Next, Sonic Fighters. Sonic Fighters is, again, a release from 1996. The same year that, my friend was born. Again, they also have some really unique characters that you probably never knew even existed. However, this game has been so challenging because, again, to make a modern remake of this will be kind of weird because considering there are more characters, that haven't been used in the roster of Sonic the Hedgehog in fucking forever. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2006. Okay, Sonic 06 or Sonic 2006 is again a gameplay game with very janky controls and leaves a really sour taste in a lot of players' mouths. A second chance for Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, a remaster is yet divided by fans, while other people say, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, some people just hated it. Other people don't mind it, but again, they had the fucking janky fucking controls. Sonic and the Black Knight. And no, we're not talking about the Black Knight from the comics. No, it's Sonic and the Black Knight. Again, fantasy game. This is supposed to be what happened after Sonic and the Secret Rings. Again, Sonic and the Black Knight. No relation to the Black Knight in Marvel. No relation. Sonic and the Black Knight, original release, was in 2009. Again, to enhance that would be great, but alas, a lot of people feel kind of weird about that, so we don't know. Shadow the Hedgehog, given that we just had him introduced in the last movie we had, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It would make a lot of fucking sense if they had Shadow the Hedgehog as a remaster game. Whether you love him or you think he's overrated, there is no denying the fact that Shadow the Hedgehog has established himself as one of the best fucking characters in the Sonic franchise. His game happened around original in 2005, and we also got the origin of how Maria Robotnik, and again how she died. Yeah, spoiler, she died. Now, we go on to some more fun ones. Sonic Riders. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, which is the sequel to the original Sonic Riders. This was originally released in 2008. Again, there was also other sequels, like again, Zero Gravity and then Free Riders. But again, the original Sonic Riders, again, has your roots again, but Zero Gravity takes it up a few more notches. And Free Riders is basically just disconnected by the other entries, and still a sequel. Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes, again, would be nice to have as the next Sonic movie. Sonic Heroes. Sonic Heroes was released again, reminder, in 2003. We had all the teams. Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Rose, and Team Chaotix, who rarely got any spotlight at all. Until we know Paramount basically made this rumor has it that Team Chaotix is going to be introduced in the Sonic franchise in hopefully the next season of Knuckles. Especially since they have really less than popular games, like SBO the Chameleon, Charmy Bee, Big the Cat, and Green the Rabbit, not to mention some other lesser known characters or underrated characters in the franchise as well. Sonic Unleashed. Again, this was in 2008. This one has a very mixed review because the main character was a werehog. It's like a werewolf mixed with a hedgehog. Very divided with this one. So, that's why that one is on the bottom of the list. Okay, everybody. So, what did you think? Would you say those Sonic games would deserve to have a remaster? What's your thought? Leave it down in the chat room. Okay? Okay. So, right. So, what else do we have? Okay. We don't care about that. Let's see what else is happening. What else is happening? Okay, did you guys know Disneyland is making another park? Yes, you heard me right. Disneyland, California. California, motherfucker. California, motherfucker. California love. Yeah, Disneyland. Yeah, Disneyland. Disneyland is planning another park. A third park. What is going to happen to Disneyland? This is a 10-minute read for, average people. For years, the narrative has been the same for Disneyland. The footprint is so small. Therefore, they don't really have much to zone. Because, again, it's like Anaheim. Anaheim is a suburb outside of Los Angeles, which is in fucking California. Again, my brother likes to call it California, because there's a lot of, liberal people that live in California. Changing the zoning would be a whole point of Disneyland. However, this ambitious proposal for Anaheim was approved last year. However, with the company having existing property that already makes large-scale development, they're already saying, we're going to make Avatar and Coco and all the rest of this stupid shit. But hey, what do you say? Disneyland has dropped some small hints on opening another park. However, as a fan, do I want to have a third park? A lot of people in Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, yes, they're so popular still. A lot of people say, hey, do you want to have a third park? I don't know. That's again why the Disney people are so divided. Okay, what Disneyland has said about building a third park. Disneyland Forward, which is a blueprint guide to the next generation, has a very vague possibility of what will happen next. Basically, Disney has labeled this the new rezone zone as a new idea for the Disney Entertainment Company. Therefore, this can include theme parks, hotels, stores, and dining, and other entertainment in a concept art done again by CEO of Disney himself. The company shows a new transportation hub east within the resort of the pedestrian bridge on Harbor Boulevard, and shops and restaurants similar to that of Disney Springs that we already have in Orlando. However, this is going to be a larger one of downtown Disney. I used to fucking call it downtown Disney until they changed it to Disney Springs. I wish they fucking changed it back to downtown Disney, but it's Disney Springs. The idea of bringing a third park to California especially is kind of interesting, considering Universal has been very successful with their park, the Epic Universe. In the summer, a third gate of Orlando Resort has already been a major success and is open for America in 24 years. In fact, Disney has been comfortably numb, like, for the theme park food chains since, well, Disney basically fucking invented them back in like the 1950s. So, the opening of Epic Universe has represented the real competition in the company has seen since Walt Disney has passed away. So, in the last year at D23 convention, which again will happen this next month, the Walt Disney Company has announced a slew of projects. Disney Experience Chairman has promised this will go underway. The dirt will be moved, he says, in the event. The announcement of a certain curtain call and extent seems the response of what's coming down the pipeline for the competition at Universal. Among the public projects and two more lands at Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom, they're going to bring in cars, to replace Tom Sawyer. And they're also going to build a Villains Land, which has been a long in limbo concept, which has seen many dark monster-themed ideas. Disneyland will also see 6 more attractions already underway. Tiana, Bayou's Adventure, which we know already has replaced Splash Mountain. And then we talked about before. And then a new show at the Main Street Opera House in Disneyland. And Disney California's Adventure, there will be a new Coco ride and a long rumor Avatar experience, and the Adventure Campus will have 2 more rides. So a year later, after Splash Mountain, like we talked about before, got changed over into the Princess and the Frog, like we said before, now Disneyland is doing the same fucking thing. So, again, construction's already underway, and like I said, Avengers Campus is going to grow bigger. Also, we're going to have Avatar and Coco, which is still not that far away. Construction set to set next year. California Adventure is going to be losing a ride. Yep, they're going to be closing Monsters Incorporated. This will close in 2026. Disneyland announced in June to make this way for Avatar. But in comparison to what's really fucking happening at Disney's biggest competitor, these additions feel like small potatoes. However, in April and the spring, Universal Epic's Universe again is $7 billion. Where there's now Disney's announcement of adding another park, again, no timeline whatsoever. Whatever that means, what it really means is Disneyland has to amp shit up. Otherwise, they're going to be losing a lot of money. Epic Universe can absolutely make Disney scared, as they should. When you talk to Disney, you tend to look at Universal very dismissively. As Steve said, Universal was already, beating out Disney. In a lot of fucking things, actually. In the last 5 years, in fact. In part, because initial experiences have been pretty fucking great. In fact, that they're really gotten really back on Disney's attention. It's only gotten the attention of Wall Street. Again, stocks and bonds, Wall Street. Wall Street, New York City, baby. With just paying attention to the dynamics and the stocks and the cost of why Disney loses visitors over to Universal. So, they actually have a concept here, which I'm not going to show you, but you can go over and find it yourself. How does Disneyland want to change Anaheim? Well, it took them 3 fucking years for them to do it. Oh, okay, because the resort was closed down in 2020. Disneyland had to shut down some of their projects in 2017, killed their service in 2018, and they had to change the location of their hotel. Not to mention, 2015's agreement between their company and the city has exempt Disneyland from having to change and charge for people up the ass with entertainment tax for the last 30 fucking years. Provided the resort has already had $1 billion in fucking expansion. Under that agreement, construction again from 2017 through 2024 resulted in the fact we had Star Wars Galaxy Edge. Again, the holiday of 2019. Again, the last time we actually fucking had a Star Wars movie. Can you believe that's been that fucking long? Yeah, I know, right? Provision has also allowed another 15-year extension to Disneyland, invested another $500 million in the resort by the next 30 years, hopefully by the year of 2045. Again, which is not too far away. Again, the second investment is dependent on the approval of Disneyland and Anaheim. Essentially, because it's fucking California, where all the liberals and commie fucks live, company couldn't get its own land rezoned for many reasons until from information Disney has released on the press release, they say, we're going to bring Avatar and Coco, and yet they're going to be added to California Adventure. So, what the fuck are we going to know about transportation and stores and retail and restaurants? Well, we don't know anything about that yet, but Anaheim is going to be getting the Disney Springs, or what I call Downtown Disney. Nothing concrete has been set in fucking stone yet, but Disney's rendering their land west of the Disneyland Hotel. It looks fucking ripe for expansion. Well, ripe for juicing, But building on a space would sacrifice existing parking in the Simba parking lot as part of the Downtown Disney. It would also deeply affect the guest exposure to Disneyland Hotel and Pixar Hotel during the year of the constructions. Not my fucking problem, it's Disney's. If you have a huge amount of fucking land behind your hotel you want to build on, you might as well get that fucking shit rezoned, buddy. Again, the owner of a Disney fan site told them, hey, Disneyland, you want to make 3-year process on the fucking site? Do it. Do it. They got it approved and now they're able to get the fucking building up. Fucking do it. What's stopping you? Which allows them to build perhaps more shopping, more entertainment, and maybe another hotel, and maybe more parking. Again, this is where they're going to be building a second Disney Springs, again, Downtown Disney, but only this time it's going to be in Disneyland. So, if a hotel part of the plan, what's they're going to do? They're going to have to move the parking lot around and maybe disrupt some of the hotels. But hey, it's California. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's a domino effect, baby. Domino effect. The third party speculates could be on the land west of those 2 hotels, but again, Disney hasn't confirmed that yet, even though they announced a $1.9 billion investment within the next 10 years. So whatever the fuck happens, whether they want to be like, we are going to have large-scale elements like the world of Frozen, or Disneyland Paris, or Hong Kong fucking Disneyland, or Fantasy Springs, or Frozen and Tangled in Peter Pan, or Tokyo, the Disney at Sea. Other wild popular attractions mostly tapped IP. Again, Disneyland could also feature the Encanto Park, also the Zootopia, which we're going to be getting in Animal Kingdom in Orlando the next few years. Also, a dedicated land in Shanghai Disneyland, another fucking Chinese Disneyland. But then asked the question, Disney officials did not respond in the time of that publication. More pictures, you gotta look on your own. Expansion is inevitable, but it hasn't been fully decided yet. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's not like you're gonna have a lot of fucking time to do it anyway. There's no doubt in question that the company is really concerned about the logistics, or they should be, because the Walt Disney Imagineering team, as they told the Los Angeles Times newspaper in 2021, the company should be noted that by having a third park, that's not part of their fucking plan. So again, if they want to talk to fucking people in Anaheim and Los Angeles, do it. Do it, bitch. Do it. So the bigger version of downtown Disney, again similar to Orlando Disney Spring, would give people more to eat, more to shop, and more to fucking do. So, hence, why it would give locals more of a reason to hang out in Anaheim than spend money at the fucking Disney without stepping a foot inside the fucking park. I'm probably most excited for the fact that they're going to build a fucking entertainment district on the Toy Story parking lot, because it would bring a more higher immersive dining and shop experience like the Disney Springs we had over in the other fucking world, in Disneyland. The concept art also shows a show area for Indiana Jones, and a hangar bar, and a bunch of other tap restaurants that we know from Orlando right now. But if the expansion stops there, that's not the problem. And there's a potential issue that the fact the theme parks, more than likely, people want to fucking go to them and accommodate to them and shut. So even with these new parks and new more space added to 2 more existing parks, that's a definite fucking limit to your capacity. As far as I'm fucking concerned, my worry is that if you extend the park too far, you're adding another 30 fucking percent capacity. Again, to everybody when you want to watch the fucking fireworks at night, again, how does that fucking work? You go to fucking Main Street. Of course, you dumbass motherfucker. You go to Main Street. That's where you see the fireworks at Disney. Main Street, motherfucker. Main Street. I worry about the operations and the overcrowd of the classic attractions. Well, you should be. Will Disneyland announce a third park soon? Well, again, we're going to find out the end of this month or next month, where they're going to be talking about the D23 and what's going to happen for the next several years. So, again, it goes beyond saying why Disneyland is actually going to actually have a reason to actually, build a bunch of Disney shit in California after it took them like 3 or 4 plus fucking years for Anaheim to be like, okay, yeah, okay, you're going to actually say, oh, I'm going to build an expansion in Disneyland. Okay, so, again, I'll see you later.